Hi Russell, how are you?
Okay, and you?
I'm lovely, and thanks so much for giving me your time. I was just really cool to chat with you off air, and I find you to be an interesting person.
Thank you. Yeah, coming a long way and rough and ready as always, for the music's business.
Of course. Yeah, can you tell me how did your musical journey begin?
Well, I come from a musical family. My mother and my father both played in the same band that we've restarted. They at that time they were called the Savoys. My mother played the piano. My father played sax. My uncle played also played piano in the band at some stage. And then when I eventually became of age, I also started playing with my parents and my younger brother as well. And the old band, we were more like a dance band, what we call dance band. We played langaram and a bit of pop music.
Wow.
And we've recorded 4 LPs, but the LPs were like more dance music uh, for the older people. But since leaving Durban, in the I would say in the early 80s, I think it was late 80s. Sorry, we I went to Cape Town for a while. The family moved to Mossel Bay, and
Mhm.
when I came back after about I think it was about 15 or 20 years, I started the New Voice. But I've been in and out of Durban. I was in Mossel Bay, came back, then we went to Cape Town. I had a band in Cape Town as well, and then I came back to Durban and I started the New Voice. And we've been running for I think it's plus minus 18 years now, with the lineups changing here and there. But since my parents are now late, but the music is still in the family. I've got a cousin of mine that plays the sax, but he's not so active anymore. Sean Duvall, well known in Durban, and then I've got the band running with the same lineup for the last 5 years, except for the keyboard player who's joined us like 2 years ago. The band has been busy. Uh, we played in Mossel Bay for the Moss Jazz Festival about 3 or 4 years ago. And like I was saying to you, in December we went down the East Coast, East London, Mossel Bay, Cape Town, and we've recently came last weekend. We were in Johannesburg, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We just got back on Tuesday. So we can't say we've traveled South Africa, but I suppose there is still some places to go, and we will find a way there someday.
Awesome. Who are the musicians that you look up to?
There's a few guys that's really influenced me growing up watching bands, and one of them was I think he's actually late now. There's a guy by the name of Molly Barron that he ran the band called the Rockets uh, from Cape Town. And I was still in school when they came to play, and they shared the stage with my father's band, that's the voice. And they really, with the band, that band really showed me what it was to be on on that type of live music scene. They had a very polished and tight act. They spent a lot of time in Sun City as Sun City's band, and they recorded as well. So I really used to watch them. And then there was
Mhm.
another band called Pacific Express, where my cousin's wife's brother was the drummer there, Jack Momplay, and they were also very popular in South Africa. So those are the two bands that I kept an eye on growing up, as just for some inspiration and also to see how it's done.
What have been your highlights thus far?
Thus far, I would say that the Mossel Bay Festival was a highlight of the New Voice. And we've also shared the stage at some point with Ernie Smith and his
Mhm.
band. We've shared the stage with God Taylor as he's with his band. And we've also shared the stage with Dr. Victor at at People's Park at one stage. So yeah, those were like highlights of the band, sharing the stage with these guys that are very popular in South Africa. And we're hoping to record something by the end of this year so that we could also have some of our own music playing out on the airwaves. And then what we are looking forward to, and which I hope comes through, is the Kantakral Festival in Cape Town at the end of September that we've been invited to. We're just trying to see, obviously we got to find our way there. So we're trying to see if we can get some funding to get us there. But we've been invited to do 3 days there. It will be the Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, which is a Cape Town based festival on the west coast of Cape Town. So we're looking forward to that, which we almost certain that we will make it. And hopefully, when that comes through, we can advertise that and get people to come down and support us. And funny enough, when we were in Cape Town, we found a lot of Durbanites there. And this trip to Johannesburg, we met a lot of Durban people up in Johannesburg. So yes, we're happy that we've got people that follow us wherever we go, and it's quite comforting when you see people that you're familiar with, and it actually gives you a nice sense of comfortability that you can perform without being, where you don't have to worry about being in front of strangers.
Hmm, that's true. Uh, any lowlights, if any?
Yeah, well, there is one slight one. We were invited to go down to Cape Town because
Mhm.
Cape Town is the hub of live music, especially among live bands. It's always nice to go perform there because you with all the other live bands as well. So we were invited one year to go down for one of the festivals, and unfortunately we couldn't make it. So that was really something that we were looking forward to, and it didn't come through. So the guys were very disappointed. It's called jazz. It's a jazz on the rocks concert that's held on the beach. The stage is on the rocks, and you sit across from the stage. You go across the water, and the people sit on the beach and watch from the other side of the water. So that was something we would have loved to have done, but hopefully the opportunity will come up again after we do this one in September.
Oh, so sorry about that, about my network.
We got a bit of a freezing.
Yeah, sorry about that. You were mentioning about the Jazz on the Rocks.
Yeah, we were invited, but we couldn't get the funding to go down. So, like I said, hopefully we'll get another opportunity. But I think this one in September will make up for that.
Okay, awesome. What are your plans for the rest of this year and beyond?
Well, like I said, we got the September concert that we're going to go down for. And there's a possibility of another trip to Cape Town at the end of November as well. And
Mhm.
maybe one more trip to Johannesburg. But I think the ultimate for us will be I've been trying to get us to go to do something in Australia because we've got a lot of South Africans in Australia. And like we saw in Johannesburg, we met a couple of people who we played for their weddings years ago as the Savoys. And I think we've got the same situation in Australia where we played for a lot of people's weddings and parties that are now there. So we're trying to put something together to try and go to Australia at least for 2 or 3 shows. But I doubt it will happen this year. But we're looking forward to that for the new year. So that's now the next step to take. I think after that, I'll probably retire.
Okay, I'll get to my final question and then I'll get to this comment question here. All right, lastly, what are your words of inspiration for upcoming musicians?
The musicians' world is very tough at the moment because everything revolves around the economy, and we people have to they come out they have to come out and support you to make us make whatever you're doing worthwhile. So with that said, when you go out there as a young musician, if you start thinking of chasing after big money and stuff like that, it's going to be very disappointing and disheartening. you gotta really leave the money part of it out and put the passion forward and get that through first, and then I can guarantee you money will come later on. And I've met a lot of young musicians who are very enthusiastic, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just the attitudes have to be. You got to stay grounded, and you
Mm.
got to. And I like I tell the guys, because I've got some young guys with me. I said to keep your head and stay calm, and attitudes must be kept down, because a lot of times I've noticed as soon as a person gets a little bit into the music and they get a little bit famous and things, and then the attitudes change, which is it's disappointing sometimes, because as much as you might think you as good as you are, the people, you need them as much as they need you. So you treat them with respect, and they will treat you with respect. Sometimes I find some musicians have very bad attitudes towards the
Mm.
patrons, and it's not a good thing at all. So I would say keep your head out of the clouds, and work hard and work on your craft, and the money will come, guaranteed.
That's so true. All right, I'll get to this comment question here quickly. All right. All right, this is from Myers, Shawarmas, and Raps. Okay. Hi, Russell. They say music is the food of love. Play on. Do you do storytelling via your music?
Well, look, we haven't done original music as such, but yes, definitely we would. We've got a few things lined up to record, and it is storytelling. It's experiences that whoever's written that song has have gone through. So with each song that comes, there's a personal touch in it, because you're trying to get your story across. So yes, definitely, there is. You have to have a bit of your personal touch in your songs, or your personal experience in your songs, that you try and put across to the audience.
Awesome. All I gotta say, the thanks so much for your time, Russell, and I hope to catch up with you once again in the future.
Yes, hopefully, just before we release our first single this year, we will
Awesome.
we'll have another chat.
Thanks, man.
Okay, thank you.